Hi everyone, and welcome again to the Xtra Dialogues podcast. I am Susan Sindani. Today I'm going to be the host, and also I'll be contributing because it's a conversation about something that affects us as girls and women, and also the society in extension. Today we're going to talk about sexual and reproductive health from our own perspectives, and we hope that whatever you're going to share is going to help you wherever you are. And if you have any questions, please, you can always share with us and reach out to us. But I will go ahead and let my beautiful guests introduce themselves, starting with Gift.
Hi everyone, my name is Winnie Gift. I'm a human rights advocate. I'm very passionate about women, about girls, about health rights, and everything that intersects with that. I'm very happy to be here to share my experiences, to share the knowledge that I have around this SRHR, and I hope it will benefit somebody out there.
Hi everyone, my name is Shakira Omata. I am a reproductive justice advocate and someone who uses technology to try and break barriers of sexual and reproductive health rights.
So, before we get to the deep part of this conversation and talking as sisters, when you hear the word sexual and reproductive health, what comes to your mind? And I don't want the textbook definition of it. I want you guys to speak about things that happen in the real life.
I would divide it into three. It's sexual, reproductive, and health rights. So I'd look at the sexual health aspect first. For me, sexual health is all about like your mental well-being, everything related sex, your physical well-being, everything related sex, your social well-being, everything related to sex and your sexuality. And sexuality, we're talking about like those attractions that you have, those thoughts and everything surrounding sex. So for that, I would say how you're able to enjoy sex, how you're able to engage in sex consensually, how you're able to have sex when you are ready and when you have the right information about it. And then also for the reproductive aspect, I'm looking at it in layman's, like your reproductive organs, literally, and then maybe the hygiene around it, how to take care of yourself, your reproductive organs. I'm also looking at the area of you being able to have the right to decide if you want kids or not, when you want kids, or if you maybe some people never ever want to have kids, and also being able to get the correct treatment around childbirth, maternal care, and just ensuring that women are well taken care of.
Through the whole journey of pregnancy, even after pregnancy.
Before, being able to get contraceptives and whatnot, being able to take care of yourself if you're not ready. If you are ready during that period, and then also after, there's pre-maternity, there's during, and then there's post-maternal care. And then the rights aspect, I'm looking at the legal aspects that you have
as a human being
generally.
Right to healthcare, right to free speech, right to education, privacy,
not being discriminated
based
just
on your
because you're a woman, and
especially being discriminated upon because we are girls or we are women. Like unaweza kuwa in a place where you are there with your fellow counterparts who are male, like your friends who are male, but sometimes unapata males are treated different than women. So that also speaks to the right aspects. I love that. I love how you guys have broken it down to simple language and simple conversation. I think for me, when I hear sexual reproductive health, nafikiria too, in my mind I'm like, I don't even know when I'm going to get my period next. But that is something I also think about, like menstruation. It is a normal thing for girls. So that is also sexual reproductive health. Another thing, let's say maybe nime engage in sex and I'm not sure if the partner I engaged with is safe, if by any chance maybe we didn't even use protection, which is not something we would advise, right? That is also sexual reproductive health. So we are talking about this and it seems like we already know this, but at some point hatukuwa tunajua hii story.
We didn't.
So Shakira, when did you first hear about or learn about sex, periods, pregnancy, vitu tu za like za wasichana?
Actually, back then in primary school, So us girls tulikuwa tunaitwa aside, you know, when now we are mko sasa class 8 and there's some of the girls getting periods. Actually, you haven't even started having the periods.
I mean, I can imagine how tiny you were at that stage.
Yeah, of course. Okay, yes, I'm still tiny. Sasa tunaitwa sisi wote, going in a room where we find some maybe peers and they try and tell us, this is how you wear a pad, this is what you do, this is how you're supposed to maybe wash yourself, you're not supposed to do this and that. So we can have that engagement whereby tunaitwa tu sisi wote. Then afterwards, then you'll get the boys saying, oh, sijui mefunzwa sijui kuvaa nini, you know.
At wasichana wamepewa mikate. And they used to call it mikate. I was like, mikate?
How should they earn? And actually, I don't know if it happens in people in the rural areas, but actually we were so glad that we got that opportunity to
coming from the rural areas, it happens.
It happens.
So, I mean, yes, I think it was happening. At least schools were making that intentional effort to, like, especially mukifika class 6 hapo adole na kiki. Yeah, they used to do that, and I'm so glad during our time kulikuwa na, I mean, there were organizations that are working in schools, right? And they were giving these talks. But so for you, it was at school.
Yeah, for me it was at school, primary school.
Okay.
Yeah. But now I had another issue whereby. So some of the girls are having the periods, but mine hazikuji. So I'm like, am I even normal? You know, I'm even asking myself, am I normal? So you have to like sit down and maybe lie to them. Hata pia mimi zangu zimekuja. But still, then they're like, how did you feel? Like, you don't know how you felt.
Yeah,
so you have to maybe
sort
of maybe Google and ask how does someone feel when
you had Google?
Yeah. We are in urban areas. I am
you guys had
I've been brought up here in Nairobi, so we had phones actually, and you would like Google and find maybe why this is what happens when you're having periods, and you know. But me, I didn't. Actually, mine came nikiwa high school.
Oh, nice.
But I had no to lie. Zimekuja, guys.
Okay.
You know?
Gift. Wait, me, I know. Did you have Google?
Hey, Mimi, I think Google was there at the time, but like phones were such a rare commodity at that time.
Our parents though walikuwa na masimu.
So maybe umuombe or something like that. Or maybe you go to like computer classes and then you do. Okay, but I didn't have that experience.
Exactly. Wait, tuambie tu the first time ilikuwa at what point of your life?
I hear your experiences and I'm like, you guys were so lucky, and I think that needs to be done more. Where I went to school, we didn't have that privilege of being told, called aside as girls and being educated around menstruation and all that. Me, my experience was just, I was a late bloomer kama Shaki. Ilikuja later when I was in high school. So when I was in primary, so many people around me had experienced it to the point in nilikuwa tu najua, because I had heard it from so many of my friends and seen the experiences of the people around me. And then also I remember that very day when it happened, I went to my mom and then nikamwambia. Hata sikumwambia direct, niko namza like, unaweza nibaya pads, like I didn't even tell her direct because I think there's a lot of, how do I put it? What's the right word? There's a lot of is it stigma? Like not even stigma.
I think it's this discomfort.
There's like a fear and discomfort around having those conversations. So when I told my mom, she was just like, okay, oh, you have? And then I was like, yes. And then she just bought me pads and we moved on. She didn't even say a word to me that you should do this. She never said
But now looking back, do you empathize with her? Do you understand where she was coming from as a mom? Can you like, could you understand?
I don't want to throw her under the bus, but okay, maybe the only aspect I would empathize with her is maybe she didn't know any better. But like in the general sense, I feel like that was her, you know, that was her duty, her responsibility to share such things. I didn't have to learn it from other people. And you asked about sex and pregnancy as well. I've never had any conversation about sex with my parents. Pregnancy with my parents, apart from that angle of be careful around boys. If you joke around, just know you'll get pregnant.
You don't even know how you'll get pregnant.
You don't even know how you will get pregnant. You don't even understand issues around that. So I never got the privilege to hear it from my mom. or even my school. But when it came to sex, the first sex and pregnancy, where I came to first know about it was in school.
Okay.
For the basic science,
the basic
science, male reproductive
system,
female, adolescence, what will happen to
signs
you.
of adolescence.
Thank you. Thank you. That was, I think, my initial.
Yeah.
And then I would also say media played a huge role. We used to watch TVs, and then you see those two scenes of people maybe kissing and all that, and then maybe you left with those question marks and what is all this about? Yeah, so that was my initial experience, but I never got it from somebody who was in let's say like a position of authority, like your mom or like your guardian. Or I have so many big sisters. We never had those conversations. And
Lord, I mean, like listening to these, and so many people have had the same experiences, especially like millennials and and us and girls. We have had the same experiences where like the people that should have been the ones giving us this information didn't know any better. And like even now, like Sai, and the last weekend we were having this conversation with my little sister, and I'm so grateful that people like Shakira were there and my friends were there because they were giving me moral support. We came together as girls, and that is how we delivered the talk to my little sister. And from that point I could empathize with our parents, the point that maybe hata mzazi pia like venye amereziwa pia hapo anaongelea sex, so hata yeye pia hawezi jua anaanza
aje. That is so true.
What I'm feeling is so ashamed talking about. Even with a parent, me myself, but if I go to like my mom, and I cannot even have that courage of asking my mom about sex. We are still navigating that, and it's a process. And one of the hacks is it is good to rely on your friends. Mnashikana mikono alafu tunaenda tunapeana a talk. It gives you the courage. And it helps us bridge that gap. I think for me I grew up in Ushago. I grew up in Bungoma, in a very uko village karibu na Uganda, and I think the I don't know if I want to air my dirty linen, but anyway. I think when I was going up ahead, unaona tulikuwa tunacheza cha mama cha baba. Hapo unajua kunafaa kuwa na baba na mama. Exactly. I mean, you don't just come out and then you're like kunafaa kuwa na baba na mama. I think at a point tulikuwa tunaelewa kunafaa kuwa na like privacy ya baba na mama. Ati baba na mama wamelala. Watoto walaleni kwa hiyo bedroom nyingine. And I think that is the first introduction I had to understanding there's something like sex, which at that point mimi nilikuwa najua ni ya watu wakubwa, watu baba na mama. But then I was also lucky to be in a school where they invited NGOs when walikuwa natembea wanakuja na wanaonyesha pads. Kulikuwa na hizi, they used to have these books like big sisters books, you read about it. And that was only at class 6 after walikuwa najua tumesoma adolescence of vitu. Before class 6 I never knew about these things like in that sense. So I think for me that was the first time I came across things like pregnancy, sex, periods. But then again, in primary I was also like tiny, and I used to associate with big girls because nilikuwa nataka hiyo protection security because I was a very cheeky child. And most of my friends in primary, they had already been introduced to sex. They had boyfriends. But good thing is I think I've always been like very straight-minded, knowing that I mean they might be having sex, but for me mimi najua because hata sikuwa nimeanza kunyesha. I don't know kunyesha nini, but I'm lucky enough to have my mom. My mom used to kidogo tumekuja holiday anauliza umeanza kunyesha.
My mom never asked anything.
She used to like, I mean, she tried at least occasionally. Umeanza kunyesha, umepata periods? Naambia no. And well, I won't say I was a late bloomer, but not like you guys, because for me I remember I got my periods the last week when we were doing KCPE. And I remember it was just something pink. And luckily enough, my friends walikuwa washaanza kunyesha. So I even like had this family friend. She used to like take my panty and put pads for me because I didn't have any clue how to do it. And every time like nilikuwa namka asubuhi amenitengenezea amenekea pad. I was lucky, right?
Yeah, you were. Actually,
I was lucky.
My small sister. So she was at my grandma's place. So you know how grannies are old and they are not having those periods. So she goes to my grandma. She goes to my grandma and tells her, unaweza nisaidia na pad. So my grandma alicheka tu. Topo kiasi mwambia nisinyeshi but niko na pads.
Oh, but she had alikuwa na pads.
Alikuwa nazo because alikuwa na like most of us tulikuwa tunaenda huko.
I mean, kuna grandchildren.
So pads zilikuwa akamwambia hivi ndio unavaa na akamuonyesha hadi. So even my sister was lucky because My grandma was there.
So talking about this whole sexual reproductive health, when you were growing up, did you have any questions that really never got to be answered, that only like got to be answered when you were an adult or accessing information? Like, you know, when you're growing up, if you don't have the information, unajiekea vitu kwa kichwa, unaanza kufikiria in your own way. Funny enough, I actually even didn't know like how sex happens. Me, I just knew I had a vagina. And then I knew there was a penis, and I knew penises are big. So in my mind, I was like, how does that even get inside that? And then it was funny, in high school, we were talking with my friends, and there was this girl. She was very sure that we actually have 3 holes. The anus, the vagina, and something. I'm like, no, we have only 2 holes. And I came to later realize that the place where the pee comes from
is a different
place. I know.
It took me a long time to also know that. Yeah.
The pee comes from a different place, and then the sex happens from a different opening, and then there's the anus. So we actually have 3 openings. That's like holes.
Yeah.
So that, for me, that was the thing that I actually came later to learn. I'm like, wow, I was shocked. And then later to come to understand how sex happens.
Nearly quite like, if I go and have sex, I'll get pregnant. And I didn't know actually things about consent withdrawing and everything, you know. So this is something that I've come to learn right now. Like, you can be in the act and still say no, and that's it.
Yeah.
No. So me when I do a sex, pregnancy, I would have never engaged in sex knowing that mimi najua directly this is ini mimba naenda kutafuta. So for me, that was something that I have grown with in my mind, knowing that sex, mimba, period.
There's nothing like condoms, protection, pills.
I actually didn't think about protection or anything. Me kwa najua tu mimba. That's it.
Now that we have shared our experiences, now let's go back to like the present day, because I understand that during our time the situation was a bit different compared to now, because now there's so much happening. So maybe you can hear from you, Gift, like what do you think the reality around sexual reproductive health for a young girl, let's say in Nairobi is, or Kisumu, or even rural Turkana or Masai Mara, like how do you think that looks like in the modern world?
Okay, what I would say is I feel like different young people have different realities, and the context of who you are, where you are really matters in terms of how you engage in SRHR. So what I would say is, what I know is, for example, like a young person in Turkana will not have the same experience as a young person in Nairobi when it comes to SRHR. And of course, a lot is being done to sort of make sure that everybody is enjoying their reproductive health rights at the moment. Like, there's so much progress even within our laws and the efforts that are being made. But now, for example, issues like FGM, they're still happening even today in the current era in some areas. We still have challenges in early marriages, transactional sex in areas like Kilifi. It's a reality. So what I would say is where you are really matters, depending on the geographical location. Also, because that matters, that varies because of how you can access the services. Do you have hospitals around you? The hospitals that are around you, are they even well equipped to provide you with the correct services? And also, the people around you, do they even have the right information to give you with regards to SRHR? We are going digital in everything, including health. Do you even have the correct devices? Do you even have internet access?
Do you even have a phone?
Do you even have a phone to be able to access this information? So we can say that people from like urban areas, they're progressing a bit more quickly compared to people in rural settings, and also we even with angles of patriarchy. Like, we might have evolved, but there's some areas that are still deeply entrenched in patriarchy. They believe in child marriages. Culture. They believe culture is everything.
And especially huko ndani ndani. The reality is different from the reality in the urban
is
center.
Actually very, very different.
And it's very true that it depends on even like the economic capability, access, and the reality does not cut across. People have different realities. The main message for these parties, SRHR is not just a medical jargon. It is about us having the rights to make decisions that are informed about our future, our sexual relations, our relationships, and our bodies. Now let's narrow it down to access to information.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of people like us right now, Gen Zs and this other generation. So I believe they get a lot of information from TikTok. Maybe it's, most of them actually are TikTok, and they will Google. Sometimes the information might not be that correct.
Yeah.
Because actually someone like me who is, how watu wenye wanapeana wrong information about the contraceptives, that when you use these things, utafura tumbo, and such kind of information wanapeana. So when it kama mimi right now, if I decide to maybe think about a family planning, nilisikia nikiambiwa nitanona, sijui nitafanya nini ama nitakonda. Unanipata? So I become I become very, listen, that is the type of information people are getting. So unaogopa someone like me who is very insecure with their bodies. At some point you're like, hey, nikinona nitakaje? So like, I cannot try this. Ama when they tell you, other people tell you, like when you use maybe condoms sometimes or in a bus, and you will get pregnant. So you cannot even have that urge of enjoying even your sexual
People are scaring people away from.
People are scaring. As much as we are maybe relying on technology, yes, it has some good things that it is doing. But on the other angle, there are some things that zinaumiza watu.
Okay.
Yeah.
When it comes to access information, there is a huge part of what Shaki has mentioned, because we are literally in the digital age, like at the peak of the digital era.
Yeah.
But now when it comes to just cover information, I feel like people rely a lot on their peers. Now when we have these conversations with our friends so seamlessly, but now when it comes to like your folks and your teachers, it becomes very difficult to have these conversations. But most of us talk to our friends about literally everything. And then now when it comes to that maybe information which you don't want to share, maybe sasa una consider going on the internet to check on it. So on that, I would say it calls for a lot of empowerment to individuals, because just like we're talking about misinformation, but there could have misinformation kwa ground.
There's no guarantee that when you Google and the information you're going to come across is the right information.
Even when you ask someone physically. It's not a guarantee that the response they're giving you is correct information. So I think that in turn just says how much you need to empower people to have the correct information about SRHR.
Yeah, and to know how to even identify the right information.
Yes, especially online, to be able to identify the correct places to go, and also to just be able to learn even the skills, even being able to check multiple sources.
Exactly.
Don't just rely on one source and going with it like the gospel truth. Like you check other sources to be able to do your comparison, and also being able to learn how to check information from like verified sites. Like there are journals which
you can trust them. You can trust their credible sources.
Exactly. How to check incredible sources. That's the word actually.
Come to think of it, there's this time I nearly chelewa periods. So sort of one thing about women not having their periods, like niko na mimba, unanipata. So now you're going to Google Chrome, you're like signs of pregnancy,
symptoms.
Inakuletea all the things that you're seeing. And all your eyes are like,
you don't want to know.
The crazy thing about signs of pregnancy and signs of your period coming or being during your period, they are the exact same. So you just never do.
You even get stressed. You're like, am I pregnant? Yes,
exactly.
I believe at some time we have to maybe have these community dialogues whereby they even give information to people about SRHR.
Yes.
Because online itself,
there's something that most people have experienced, and talking about technology and information and SRHR, that leaves them like being exposed to gender-based violence. Gift, could you talk to us about one of the most recent types of GBV we are experiencing because of the digital era?
I would say that is tech-associated facilitated abuse, but now tech gender-based abuse, because tech is wide. Now when you say for the technology-facilitated gender-based abuse, Okay, that cuts across. It manifests in different ways.
Yeah.
First of all, just by virtue of being a woman, sometimes you can be subjected to cyberbullying.
Yeah, just because you're a woman, you've
Just
not even
because
spoken anything.
You've not spoken anything. You've not even said. You've not revealed any part of your identity yet.
Yeah.
Just because you're a woman. Women also in special groups, like now you're a woman living with HIV, it even becomes more exacerbated for you. Maybe you're a woman who's a sex worker, it becomes worse for you. So also the GBV virus, depending on, for minority groups, of course, for them it's worse. So for the tech facilitated gender-based abuse, as you've said, it manifests in different ways. Being harassed online, being stalked as a woman.
Well, there's one that most people have gone through, where someone calls you on Facebook, video calls, and they're naked. And they're naked.
Yes.
Like, why are you even traumatizing
Like, why are you
me? I don't even know
traumatizing
you.
me? Yeah, or even men just randomly sending you stuff. Or you're
Weird
on
images
Telegram and then you're being added to a group that is related to such stuff, and not without your consent. You don't even want to see it.
Or even someone might just send you a video and then you're like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why?
And
It's
even
simply because
also-
you're a woman, or they think you're a woman.
And also somebody leaking your videos online, or like your intimate photos.
Telegram.
That's a form of gender-based.
That is gender-based. That is cyberbullying. That is harassment. That is everything wrong.
Yeah, that is everything wrong.
What are the things we can put in place to make sure that before that hacker, because I was hacked recently, guys, I'm still traumatized because I feel like my whole life was evaporating.
Yeah.
I have had so many years of effort, energy, consideration, sacrifice to put up like my profile on digital media, and then someone comes and erases all of that.
My goodness.
It was stressful. Yeah, so tell us about how do I make sure that I don't go through that again?
Actually, right now, a lot of people are so involved into tech, and they're making hacking quite easy, actually.
At some point I was like, is someone trying to do internship with me?
Yeah, I think she was that person.
It's like I was a target there, like, let me try Uyo. There's Susan in Kenya. Let me try and see if I'm good at hacking people.
Then the problem that you guys do is linking your all socials together.
Meta.
You're linking with Facebook, with
Instagram, with WhatsApp,
with whatever. Then the same email that you're using in your work. It's okay.
Even the same password.
Exactly the same password. Then you are saving that password. If I got hold on your email, even I do not need to know the hacking techniques for me to get to your everything and delete. No, I'll just go there.
Forgot password.
No, forgot password. I have your email. I'm going through your password, the one that you've saved on Google. That is what I use. So I believe right now, then the same person asked Gen Zs to measure to me our years of birth and maybe our names as passwords.
I think you've said it so well. Also, when it comes to cookies, this is something most people don't even know. You're just like, what are even these cookies in the first place? So cookies are basically how the website you're on that is requesting for you to accept the cookies. Once you give them permission to access their cookies, they can monitor. They're able to know your preferences and your login details. They're saying, okay, you can keep my login details and you can keep my preferences. So by preferences, they're able to know what exactly are you searching for most when it comes to their website. And then they start pushing that information your way. They start pushing that information your way. Now your algorithm will be reading every single thing that.
So they have access.
It's like they're getting inside the system pole through different cookies. They get to understand your patterns of Googling, what mostly you search around. If you're a paranoid person, they make it
they bring that content in.
So what I would say is actually stop ignoring the safeguards that have even been placed by these apps, because also the tech private companies and social medias, they're trying their level best to make sure their platforms are well protected. So take advantage of the things that they're providing for you to use. For example, WhatsApp has a two-step authentication. Some people don't have it. Instagram also has the same thing now, two-step authentication. Why don't you have it?
Please just go back to your settings and make sure that you are making it harder for someone to hack you.
Make it so hard for the hackers to be able to do it.
Keep on changing passwords. You're not too old to forget.
So at this point, that is as far as we can give you information about access, staying safe. Just like try to verify your sources, verify your information, make it hard for the hacker to hack you. I think just stay curious.
Yeah.
When something comes up, don't think it's too much, because it will be like a way for you to protect you even more.
Yeah.
So like trying to be open-minded about technology and being curious, and also sharing like tips. If you find something that is useful, tell your friend. They will tell your friend.
Yeah, for
That is how we are building the community.
Yeah.
So when it comes to GBV, what are some of the places people, or the ways people can protect themselves technologically? Lakini your story ni ngumu. Do these like helplines also link people to wenye wamekuwa survivors wa technological GBV? Do they have those safeguards in place?
I don't know if they have the safeguards to put you together with a community of people who are
like coming through targeting just victims who are GBV at tech.
Oh, that's
in that way. I don't think most have gone to that place yet. I think the most they will do is give you the moral whatever. But
I would like to give flowers to the Office of Data Protection Commissioner. They're trying their best, and they have reports. There's a way you can just report online. You don't even have to go there physically. And what you're saying about GBV, I'm not sure, but there's a way they've divided tech-related issues. So when you're filling the form, you'd be able to find at least an area where you relate to. Like they'll give you like follow-up questions on your experiences and everything that happened, and then they'll be able to follow up with you. And they have so many successful cases. They try to move their cases so there's no like so much backlog. So I would say the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, you can just check it online. It's easy to follow through their website. Also the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. They do a lot of work supporting tech facilitated issues. So also them, when you go online, they have their report lines and their reporting ways. Also another avenue would be CSOs. There are a lot of CSOs that are supporting tech-related issues, and if they have their hotlines, you can call them and be able to be assisted. So for example, FIDA, they do a lot of along the lines of GBV. I don't know if they've been able to tap into the tech aspect, but I'm sure once you get to their hotline, they'll be able to refer you to the correct
the right way you can get the support.
There's so many female organizations that are working around these issues. So I think that is a call to people to take initiative.
Take the initiative.
To just go online and be able to check the sources. You'll find so many organizations that are able to assist you.
We need to understand that the internet can be your friend, but it can also be your enemy, especially if you are not aware. And basically just, again, stay curious and stay open-minded. Now, talking about open-mindedness, because when we talk about policies, people just shut down. They're like, hiyo ni mambo ya kina wakili na advocates na kina Shakira. So, but like, let's try to define what role someone can play in making sure that they also participate in building systems that make SRHR achievable. What can you say about the most basic existing legal systems someone needs to understand, like the Constitution? What does it say about SRHR?
Well, actually, the 2010 Constitution is very progressive when it comes to health rights, and SRHR in particular, because it particularly recognizes SRHR as a human right. Something maybe that was not there before the 2010 Constitution. So the Constitution is good in that aspect, and also the Constitution speaks about the right to health, which is generally
health, SRHR, mental health.
It also provides the right to safe abortion. It recognizes safe abortion as a human right. Of course, with its limitations.
But people can again go and Google about that part.
People can find more information about that, and people can be able to also check on issues of discrimination, so that you know your rights. Once you're aware of the rights that you have, then it's a weapon for you when dealing with some of these challenges we've mentioned. We have the Health Act. We have a Digital Health Act. We have so many policies around reproductive health, including menstrual health hygiene, comprehensive sexual education, although it's still a challenge having a policy that supports comprehensive sexual education because of, the many actors that are fighting it.
There's so many dynamics, push and
religion is trying to fight it, and culture. but also we have the Digital Health Act, as I've mentioned, and we have so many policies and regulations that I think I would call upon people to take their personal initiative.
Again. Take the initiative and try to find this information.
Yeah.
You don't need to be a lawyer. I mean, Gift is a lawyer.
Yeah.
She's wakili, we respect that.
Yeah.
But you don't need to be a lawyer to know your rights.
Yes, exactly.
Stay informed, stay involved.
And
how can you stay involved? You stay involved by first understanding that kuna kwanga na hizi chances za participate kwa shaping these policies.
Yeah.
For instance, kuna kwanga na public participation. Umaenda public participation. Unajua hiyo ni nini? Kama hauji try to Google and find out.
And
I know I people to Google a lot, but
and even public petitions.
Try to find out from your friends what public participation is, what you can participate in shaping the policies. You can understand how the county government is using our money on SRHR. Vitu kama hizo. That is how you can stay involved. Please just take the initiative.
So me, what I'd say about my call to action would be addressing these challenges with the intersectionality that it has. By intersectionality, I mean all the areas surrounding it. There's no one particular way of addressing SRHR. You can see it integrates with GBV, it integrates with your digital rights, it integrates with your rights to education, with your culture, and all these things. So I feel like my call to action would be to address it in the integratedness that it deserves. Let the church and the religious bodies find a way to play a role. The CSOs can also find a way to play a role. The government can find a way to play a role. Even you as an individual, there's a social responsibility that has been placed upon you. Like we are saying, Kilasa, Google it, find the information, be curious. To know more about the discussion that we had, you can check Kelin Kenya on Twitter. It's a human rights organization that deals with health rights, and you'll be able to find so much information around SRHR. Also, I give a shout out to Zamara, who gave us this opportunity to talk about SRHR. Thank you so much. You can also find them on social media, Zamara Foundation. Also, remember to take your registration cards. Please, please, please. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Nakwambia, we need everyone. IEBC is now imefungwa registration sahi, so please, if you don't have a voter's card, go take your voter's card. If you need an ID, go get an ID. If you need to verify, even if you have before, please just make sure you verify. So you're sick when you're ready to vote, you cannot be seen in the system. So we need to, please.
Tech has the ability to reduce the barriers that are happening right now. But what we need to do is that we need to be very careful with whatever information that you're sharing online and everything. So tech is an enabler actually. It cannot stand on its own when it comes to maybe changing and maybe having a new shape of SRHR right now in this country. I am on Instagram as Shakira Omata, on LinkedIn as Shakira Omata, and please, you guys should go vote.
That brings us to the end of our conversation. We wish we had more time to talk more about stuff, but that's why we have been telling you to please make the initiative to go and Google for yourself, because that has been, in my experience, the best way to get to learn and stay informed. So you can use what we talked about, and you can maybe see how you can apply it in your life. But if you have any questions, if you want to share any more information about what we said, please, there's the comment section, but you can also send me an email, or you can find me online on other social media. I go under the name Susan Sindani on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on TikTok. I am Miss_Nahungu, and on Instagram also Miss_Nahungu, Nahungu ya Mluya. And without forgetting, please, if you have never voted, kama haujawahi vote, we ni Mkenya ndio umefika 18, uko na ID, register to get a voter's card so that you can vote. Because honestly, guys, we just need to vote, all of us. Let's just please vote. And if you have been a voter, go and verify your details. And if you want to change the place you want to vote from, please, you can still do that, because IBC has come through this time. Thank you so much, IBC. And I wanted to say thank you to Zamara Foundation for making this conversation possible, for holding our hands. And guys, if you don't know Zamara Foundation, go online, find them online, Zamara Foundation. They are one of the best organizations ever. Thank you, Zafli. Thank you, Esther.
And thank you, Who.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye. See you soon. Stay educated. Stay involved.
Stay
Yes.
involved. And
Stay
please
informed.
use, and please make sure your passwords are strong. Yes.